The restaurant was buzzing softly that night, the kind of elegant place where silverware gleamed and chandeliers glowed like stars. But all eyes turned when a man at the corner table raised his voice and said with a teasing grin, "I'll give you $5,000 if you can serve me in French." The young waitress froze for a moment, unsure if she'd heard him right. The man laughed, clearly joking, or maybe testing her. But what she did next left everyone in that restaurant speechless, and it changed two lives forever. Hey everyone, welcome back to Kindness Lights. If you love stories that warm your heart and remind you how powerful kindness can be, make sure to hit subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share your thoughts in the comments below. Now, let's get into today's story, one that shows how a simple act of respect can shine brighter than any amount of money. It was a busy Friday evening at a fine dining restaurant in Chicago. Emma, a 23-year-old waitress, was halfway through her shift. Her feet ached, but she kept that friendly smile, the kind that comes from someone who truly cares about people. She wasn't just working for tips, she was saving for her last semester of college. Life had been tough lately, her mom's medical bills had stacked up, and Emma had picked up every extra shift she could find. Still, she believed that kindness always came back around somehow. That night, a group of well-dressed men entered the restaurant. They laughed loudly, clearly celebrating something, a business deal, maybe, or just a Friday night out. Among them was one man who stood out, confident, sharp, and just a little too amused by everything. His name was Daniel. When Emma walked over to take their order, Daniel looked up at her, grinning. He noticed her name tag and said, "Emma, right?" "All right, Emma, how about a little challenge?" She smiled politely. "Sure, what kind of challenge?" "I'll give you $5,000, he said, raising an eyebrow, "if you can take my order and serve me entirely in French." The other men laughed. Some pulled out their phones, thinking this was going to be entertaining. Emma blinked in surprise, her face flushing. She knew he didn't really expect her to do it. It was meant to be a joke, maybe even a way to show off in front of his friends. But what Daniel didn't know was that Emma had spent a semester abroad in Paris 2 years ago. And while life had pulled her away from that dream, she still remembered every word. She took a deep breath, straightened her shoulders, and smiled. "Très bien, monsieur," she said softly. "Tu aimerais-vous manger ce soir?" "Very well, sir." "What would you like to eat tonight?" The laughter at the table died instantly. Daniel blinked, stunned. His friends looked at each other in disbelief. "Wait, you actually speak French?" one of them whispered. Emma nodded, calm but confident. "Oui, monsieur. Je parle un peu. Vous voulez commencer avec du vin rouge?" "Yes, sir. I speak a little. Would you like to start with some red wine?" A slow smile spread across Daniel's face, not the mocking one from before, but something softer. He played along, answering in broken French, and Emma guided him patiently through the order. She described each dish beautifully, her words flowing like music. Other diners began to notice. The quiet murmur of the restaurant seemed to fade as this small scene unfolded, a young woman rising to a challenge with grace and poise, turning a joke into art. When she walked away to place the order, the men sat quietly for a moment. Then Daniel exhaled and said, "I didn't expect that." His friends chuckled awkwardly, unsure what to say. The meal went on, and Emma continued to serve the table, switching between English and French with ease. She didn't miss a step, every gesture professional, every smile genuine. By the end of the night, Daniel looked different. The arrogance had faded from his eyes. When Emma brought the bill, he stood up and reached into his pocket. He pulled out his wallet and placed a thick envelope on the table. "I said I'd give you $5,000 if you served me in French," he said quietly. "You did more than that. You taught me a lesson in humility." Emma shook her head, her eyes wide. "Oh no, sir, I can't accept that. You were joking. I was, he admitted. But you weren't. You took something meant to embarrass you and turned it into something beautiful. That deserves respect. He pushed the envelope toward her again. Please. Use it for whatever dream you're chasing. Tears filled Emma's eyes. She wanted to refuse again, but something in his expression told her this was genuine. So she took the envelope with trembling hands and whispered, "Merci beaucoup, monsieur." The restaurant had fallen silent. As she walked away, a few people even clapped quietly, not for the money, but for the grace she had shown. That night, when Emma got home, she opened the envelope. Inside was exactly $5,000, and a small note that read, "Thank you for reminding me that kindness and class have no price. D." She sat on her bed and cried, not out of relief, but gratitude. It wasn't just the money. It was the reminder that even in a world where people sometimes mock or test us, responding with kindness and dignity always leaves the deepest mark. A few months later, Emma graduated from college. She sent a thank you letter to Daniel, though she never heard back. But she didn't need to. She knew that moment had changed them both. And she carried that lesson with her, that kindness isn't weakness. It's courage. It's grace in the face of pride. It's choosing to lift the room higher, even when someone tries to pull you down. Because when we meet arrogance with humility, and cruelty with compassion, something magical happens. The world becomes just a little softer.